Businesses add to the standard of living and the quality of life of a community. An entrepreneur is the person who risks their time and money to start, then manage a business. They take these risks because they expect the business to return a profit. Sometimes, though, businesses lose money. There is no better example of the ups and downs of entrepreneurship than that of Howard Schultz and Starbucks Coffee.
I had to pump that rich caffeine into my system and fast.
I need that coffee, that coffee.
Relax, that was just a bad dream. Wake up and smell the... And remember, we've reached the decade when Java junkies have no trouble finding a quick fix.
Grande skim latte. To go.
For those addicted to Starbucks, instant gratification is just around the corner, or will be soon.
Good morning. Welcome to Mercer Starbucks. May I please take your order?
Single tall, non-fat with an equal, please.
The company opens a new store almost every business day and expects to own at least 2,000 by the year 2000.
Got a tall, non-fat latte with an equal. Thank you. Have a good day.
Meet the guy you could call the new Mr. Coffee, Howard Schultz, the CEO of Starbucks and the brains behind the brew. How many cups of coffee do you drink a day?
Does it look like I drink a lot today?
Kinda, Howard. Not really.
I'd say 4 or 5.
How do you get the lingo straight? You know, tall, skinny latte with legs. I can't keep it straight.
Well, you know, that's another part of this that we didn't plan on. The vernacular of everything we do has become part of the nomenclature of the culture of the country.
We're here at tall latte.
It was Schultz who imported the concept of coffee bars from Europe.
I took a trip to Italy in 1983 to a little town called Verona.
Cappuccino con caffè caldo.
What I saw there was the unique relationship that the coffee bar had to the Italian community, that it was a place that everyone came to, and I wanted to recreate what I saw in Europe to America.
Schultz began in the city which would one day be known as the capital of latte, Seattle. It was here in the Pike Place Market where the original owners opened the first Starbucks in 1971. Named after the first made in Moby Dick with a siren for a logo, Starbucks had become a Seattle institution by the time Schultz took over the company. In 1987, when you first bought Starbucks, you all didn't do so well. You lost, what, $1 million?
We lost $3 or $4 million there for about 3 years, and a lot of people had a lot of doubts about whether or not this guy had a good idea.
Was there ever a point where you just wanted to give up? I know that one of the first years after you had purchased Starbucks, your wife was expecting a baby, and
right.
She was supporting you, and I think you were quoted as saying that was a very, very, very hard year. Three berries.
Yeah.
I mean, at any point in time, did you feel like saying, oh, forget it, it's never going to happen?
That was a very rough time. I had no salary. She was supporting me. She was pregnant. We were losing money. I think we came close at various times to saying it wasn't going to work out, but I think we persevered because we believed in ourselves and believed that this could be possible.
Dave Olson's slurp and spit technique may not charm Miss Manners, but it's largely responsible for the more than 3 million customers Starbucks serves every week.
The Verona is going to be a much bigger cup of coffee than these because it combines the attributes from various regions.
At a tasting with other Starbucks employees, the company's premier bud man demonstrates how he samples the beans he buys from all over the world.
Got a tall skim cappuccino up on the bar.
While some find the coffee too strong, Olson takes jabs about Charbucks in stride.
Ha! Starbucks, Charbucks. Yeah, we try to buy coffee that can withstand a pretty aggressive approach to roasting. So it falls outside the experience that a lot of people expect of a cup of coffee?
I love the blend and the aroma.
It's a very strong flavor, but not bitter.
I compare it to the espresso and the cappuccino in my home city, which is Florence, Italy.
For die-hard Starbucks fans, the coffee is now available in a soft drink and in a Red Hook beer.
Coffee-flavored beer?
Well, it's only a note. It's very subtle, and it's delicious.
So does it make you sleep, or does it keep you awake?
No, it's not like that.
In many ways, this really is a Horatio Alger story, a rags to riches story,
nice
if you will, because you grew up as a pretty, is it safe to say, poor kid from Brooklyn?
Yes, and I'm proud of that. It was a good childhood, but in a federally subsidized housing project. Our family did not have much, and I think we were taught early on about the value of things, and I think I wanted desperately to try and get out of that environment and try and create a success for myself.
I feel lucky today. Success for the 42-year-old Schultz is measured in more than net sales of some $465 million in 1995. He takes great pride in offering his 12,000 employees, whom he calls partners, stock in the company and health coverage. Even part-timers receive full benefits, a policy applauded by President Clinton.
What I wanted to do is make sure that every Starbucks person, irregardless of their education, of their diversity, of their level of performance in the company, had an opportunity to gain equity and gain health insurance and really build self-esteem in the workplace. And for me, I watched, unfortunately, my dad go through a series of jobs where I think his self-esteem was broken, and that affected our life.
He went from various blue-collar jobs, like he was a cab driver for a while. He drove a diaper truck. He worked in a paper factory.
I think he just could not find his way and unfortunately never found a company in which there was an opportunity.
If your dad were alive today, do you think he'd be incredulous in terms of your success?
It would be an unbelievable, if I could just grab one thing back, and it would be the most meaningful turn of events if he could experience this with us.
Entrepreneurship and knowledge are two key factors of production. Howard Schultz's knowledge of the market led to the establishment of a new coffee culture. His entrepreneurial skill helped to develop that market from almost nothing to a major American phenomenon. Coffee sales had been weathering a 30-year decline when Schultz stepped into the picture. In 1962, overall coffee sales were up to $1 billion a year. A staggering 3/4 of the adult population drank an average of 3 cups a day, and this was before the advent of a gourmet coffee trend. Then came the bitter years. A major factor in this change of trend was the rise in soft drink sales. Pepsi and Coca-Cola began battling each other for the teen market. Pepsi developed the theme of the Pepsi generation, while Coke claimed it was the real thing. Both campaigns were very successful. As these new drinkers entered into adulthood, they brought their soft drinks to work. Meanwhile, coffee manufacturers continued to market their drink to an increasingly older audience. Howard Schultz saw this trend and knew there was only one way to reverse it. He marketed Starbucks directly to the young. He attracted younger coffee drinkers by creating a recognizable icon, catchy names, and a whole new lingo for coffee drinkers. Most important, he introduced gourmet coffees to take the place of the older, too familiar brands. And how successful has his strategy been? When Schultz entered the market in 1984, gourmet coffee sales amounted to $270 million. 10 years later, they would top $1 billion, an amount equal to all coffee sales in 1962. And what is the proof that this trend is here to stay? Just look around. Where Howard Schultz has led, others have followed. Schultz's success has been a signal to other potential entrepreneurs. New gourmet coffee chains, as well as independent shops, have sprung up across the country. Now established, the trend begun by Howard Schultz and Starbucks has become a part of our cultural fabric. Howard Schultz pioneered this course by courting younger customers, giving them a taste for gourmet brews, and creating an easily copied environment where they can buy them. In the process, Starbucks and Howard Schultz have established a trend, one which has given the coffee industry a real caffeine rush.